Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Mike.
It's Dan.
It's the woman who kidnapped herself because of a dumb reason.
Yeah, and she kidnapped herself because she wanted to test the love of her husband. This actually makes me really angry when you hear what it wasn't just like it's how far she carried it.
Yeah.
And it's how she reacted when it was found out.
Yeah.
This really angered me.
Yeah.
Because I've heard of this people doing this before in China.
Well, not to this extent.
Not
usually.
to this extent.
Like kids do it. Kids are like, I'm gonna run away and see how my parents they worry about me.
Maybe for like a day.
They'll go hide in a closet or something.
Exactly. Or like, let's say your spouse does it. Maybe like you're mad at them or something. There's a good reason. There's no good reason. But like, let's say you justify it yourself. But it lasts a day or two.
Yeah, or like you're like pretend to be sick and you'd be like, some people do that.
Yeah,
pretend to be
definitely.
sick and see how their significant other react to what they take care of them, whatever. But this is crazy.
Whole nother level, guys. Basically, there's a couple in their 40s and 50s. So the wife is 43, the husband is 52. They live in Chongqing. Okay, so basically the wife disappears.
Yeah.
One day, she disappears. The husband, is like calling all over the place. And there's now he's gotten people to help look for him. And one day he receives a call with another, like a muffled voice, I kidnap, what does it say? He's like, he hears
the wife
being like, please don't kidnap me. I know you are from da da da.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh no. So at this point, he has gone to the authorities and there's a team of 10 police officers just scouring the place for him. The team of 10 eventually grows to a team of 29, almost 30 police officers looking for this woman,
right?
Because they fear that she's going to be kidnapped, or she is kidnapped,
or whatever.
Killed.
Yeah.
Then, what happens?
Yeah. Then they go to this village because in the telephone the woman says, "Oh, I know you're from so and so place." So they go to this place, and he realizes that like his relative lives there.
Brother-in-law, yeah.
So, but they try calling, and every time they call, the person on the other end hangs up.
Right.
So the police go to the house. And they go to the town, the little village, and they're walking around.
Yeah.
And they see this woman just walking around.
They bump into the woman,
Just chilling. She's just chilling.
and she has no she's. I'm sorry, man. You got something wrong with you, because at that point you should know what you've done. But she's acting like it's no big deal.
She was like, oh, it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like what? She literally said, she was like, oh, it was kind of fun. 挺好玩的. Like, huh?
They're like, okay, is it because your husband doesn't treat you well? Oh no, they're like, why'd you do this? And she's like, I'm testing him.
Yeah.
I want to test how much he loves me.
Right.
And they're like, oh, does he not treat you well? He's like, no, he treats me fine most of the time. She's like, he won't even let me do the housework, but he has back problems right now. Oh wow, what a great way to solve his back problems. And he's like, we argue a little bit, but he's like, I just want to see how much he loves me. Like this is something wrong with this woman.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways. Like I get it. Some people want to test okay, look, Chinese people aren't the greatest at expressing things, right?
Right.
Sometimes, most of the time, they're like, especially older generation, they're probably not like, I love you, don't get mentioned enough. Like, I appreciate you, don't get mentioned enough. I get that.
Right.
But you know, a simple solution for that. You're like, hey, do you love me?
Yeah.
Done. Nah. I'm gonna go and pretend to kidnap myself and then get 10, 20, 30 police officers involved and then that's a good time.
Like, can you imagine what repercussions this would have? Like, let's say, I don't know, in the US or something? Like if they found out, because this ordeal was more, it was like 2 weeks.
Well, first of all, you'll have to pay for all the expenses.
Oh, yeah, because you've taken up police officers' time.
Right.
Because they could basically sue you. They don't even have to. They'll just fine you. You could potentially go to jail for, I don't know, like lying. I mean, I don't know what the charges would be.
I mean, you could falsifying reports or whatever the heck. I don't know.
All kinds. I'm sure.
But this is like, you're not young. Right. I mean, if this was like a 20-year-old girl, you could kind of be like, okay, you're a spoiled little girl. You're like, you basically, you just don't have any common sense. This is like a 50-year-old,
43-year-old woman. Now, can you imagine if you were the guy at this point? Well, what would you have done for her to react like this?
What she is saying about the guy, I can tell the guy's a good guy.
You can, okay?
Yeah, because she's like, he's good to me usually. Right. He does all the housework. He won't even let me do it. That's a good guy.
Yeah, and he has back problems too.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is he just doesn't say I love you enough. That's the only thing I'm thinking that's the problem. But come on, my parents don't say I love you.
Chinese, I mean, but Chinese
people
culture,
don't say that.
People don't say that.
That's the way it is.
Or he's not, okay, forget about the saying thing even. What if he's just not doing what she thinks he needs to do to show I love you? Like,
well, like what else can he do? He's already not letting her do housework. If I'm like, hey, honey, yo, let me take care of all the housework. No. Sit down.
Yeah.
Yo, that's like showing through action.
Yeah, I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying maybe in her mind, she's like, you don't buy me flowers enough.
Okay. But then, like I said, there's other ways to test that, right? Well,
Right.
go. Hey, why don't you go pretend you're sick? Why don't you go pretend you have a fever? See if he brings you some chicken soup.
I mean, first of all, I won't even need to test. Don't guys.
I get that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying.
There's better ways.
If she's gonna test someone, go have a cold.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. I would be very heartbroken if my own wife, who I cared for, did this to me. I would be very heartbroken.
I think I would just be more like, I think she's going insane.
I definitely think so. Well, do you believe this? They have a psychology expert in Chongqing. He actually labeled this urban empty. He labeled this an example of her being an urban empty person, which is basically saying that some people lead such boring and monotonous lives that they are just like, they have no sense of reality and that they'll just do this for fun. I don't know if that's a real thing.
That's like influenza? Affluenza, sorry.
Affluenza?
Yeah.
Like where you just don't care about anything?
Where you're too rich to know what's good, right or wrong?
Maybe. I'm just like, is this
something like that, which I think that's all crap.
Oh my gosh.
Like, come on. Anyway. So this is, I don't know.
Crazy,
I tell you, it'd be really hard to live with someone like that after that gets pulled.
I mean, this is so extreme. For her to even just be like, yeah, whatever. Just walking around one day. Like,
but
anyways.
Let us know what you guys think of this story. What would you do if your spouse posts something like that? And were your spouse or your significant other ever pulled something like this? Not to this extent, but something. Thanks for watching, guys. See you.
Later.